Hi and welcome to the vlog. I am separately recording a quick intro to what is to come. My name is Tova, this is ParentXP. I am wearing this beautiful t-shirt. That was very suggestive. I'm wearing this stunning t-shirt which is made by Alexandra at Chronically Awesome. You can find her on Instagram, chronically.awesome_shop. I will link in the description below. And I just want to give a shout out to Alexandra because I think she's brilliant and I really like this t-shirt, and she actually custom made this for me, although there's a very similar one coming to her shop very soon. But I'm wearing this t-shirt in this intro because I'm wearing it in the vlog, in the video to come. An international amazing organization, and I did a speech on how Elin communicates, how you communicate with a child who is non-verbal, but also how the non-verbal child communicates with you. And in it I'm talking about Elin's birth, and I'm talking about her development and things that have happened, and I really wanted to record it, and it was such a big moment for me to do that speech because I've never really talked much about Elin's background and why she has the brain injuries she has. The reason for that is because Elin's birth was such a traumatic experience for me that I've been locked up. I've actually not been capable of talking about it. And then at the start of last year, 2020, before the COVID lockdown, a friend of mine who's an alternative therapist, he's hugely interested in trauma and he does a lot of trauma work. He did some trauma release work with me to do with Elin's birth. The speech I did about how Elin communicates is the very first time that I have gone out and I've talked honestly, genuinely about what happened at her birth, even though I only touched on it very briefly. During the speech, I'm not looking at the camera because I'm looking at my computer screen on the Zoom meeting where my fellow Toastmasters in my fellow Toastmasters club is. Thank you very much, my fellow Toastmasters, dear friends. We are members of this amazing organization that is Toastmasters in order to talk. We are here to learn to become better at spoken discourse. Verbal communication really is a key feature of Toastmasters. But I have a question for you. Have you ever considered how to talk to somebody who is non-verbal? On the 22nd of August 2013, my life changed forever. That was the day my oldest daughter was born. I wish I could tell you a story about an easy labor, of having my healthy, lustily bawling baby put on my chest and feeling an overwhelming sense of love as I looked into her eyes for the very first time. I wish. But that is not my story. There was nothing easy or loving at all about it, and that wasn't because of the labor. I never went into labor. I had to have an emergency cesarean section. My baby had opened her bowels inside of me, inhaled it, and she was born not breathing. She did not scream. I did not get to hold her. I barely had time to stroke her little grey cheek before she was whisked off to intensive care, and I didn't get to see her until she was a few hours old. And when I finally did, I sat there and I was holding her hand through the incubator, and I told her that I was so sorry, that this was not how I meant for things to go. And she looked back at me with those big dark eyes of hers, and she seemed to say, I'm here now. I plan to stay. Since that day, she has defied her odds at every turn. My little fighter. Despite her brain injuries. This little girl that I named Elin Iduna. Elin after 3 generations of strong women in my family, and Iduna after the Norse goddess of youth. She with the magic apples of immortality. My little warrior, who thought of death not once, not twice, but 3 times in her first 4 days of life. Back to my question. Have you thought about how to communicate with somebody who is nonverbal? But not just how you communicate with her, but also how she communicates with you. Because Elin may be nonverbal, but that does not mean that she has nothing to say. Elin's first mode of communication is touch. This was not a baby who would lie content in her cot or her pram. Oh no! If we did not hold her, the whole world would know of her displeasure. We became baby wearers, her dad and I, allowing her to be the primal little baby that she so clearly was. She was quite literally attached to one of us for the first 3 years of her life, and she would only sleep if her nose was in my armpit. Elin doesn't say hold me, but those are the very words that she communicates. Elin's second mode of communication is music. From day one, we have sung to her. She knows her bath time song and her nappy changing song, and particularly her sleepy time song. When Elin vocalizes, there's a melody to it. I so often wake up to the sound of "na" coming from her bedroom, which is her way of saying, I'm awake, good morning. She loves music, and she's also able to tell us what music she likes. There's a song called Wings by an artist called Birdie, and whenever that is on, Elin listens with her entire being, her whole body quivering with pleasure. Definitely one of her favourite artists. She's been in hospital, very stressed, with a pulse of 210 beats per minute. And that's when we get the phone up and we start playing Four Seasons by Vivaldi, leaving doctors shaking their heads in disbelief as her pulse comes down to a much more manageable 100 beats per minute. Elin doesn't say it, but music makes her feel safe and calm. Elin's third mode of communication is smiles and laughter. Are you my beautiful girl? I ask her, and her smile says, you know it! When I was expecting her baby sister, I didn't know if I was carrying a boy or a girl, but Elin knew. Are you having a baby brother? I would ask her, and she ignored me. Whereas, are you having a baby sister was consistently met with a big smile. She was right, of course. Baby sister was born, and we had 3 names that we couldn't choose between. So we asked Elin, is your sister's name Astrid? Is your sister's name Heather? Is your sister's name Alice? We have a winner. It's Alice. Definitely Alice. She is so totally an Alice. And Alice is so totally Elin's sister. She loves her and she's immensely proud of her. But she also takes the mickey out of her at every turn. Are we here? Alice asked as we were out driving, and well, I couldn't resist and I had to reply that here was undeniably exactly where we were. Elin, she was in bits. The other thing that really makes Elin laugh is when Alice is crying. And the very grumpy, it's not funny, Elin, makes her laugh even harder. Elin doesn't say it, but taking the mickey out of siblings is every big sister's right. We have less pleasant means of communication, of course. Girl has got a pair of lungs on her, and when she's not happy, you can hear it. But as she grows older, she is increasingly learning how to tell us that she wants our attention without bursting our eardrums. And she's increasingly teaching me to understand what it is that she means. And to me, there is absolutely no doubt what she means as she melts into my arms and she growls softly. She doesn't have to say it. I know. I love you. Thank you. there you have it. That was my speech on how Elin communicates. I hope you enjoy that. If you want to find a club local to you, they're huge. It's an international organisation. So there's definitely a club somewhere near to where you live. Here in the UK at the moment, we are in lockdown. We can't meet up. We can't run our club meetings anywhere else than online. Quite frankly, when we can start meeting up again, I am travelling down to South East London and I'm hugging every single one of them. So I will pop some links to Toastmasters in the description below. Come and look us up in Liberty Speakers if you want to join a really, really amazing club that truly inspires and develops its members and has a lot of very passionate people in there running it. As always, subscribe. As always, find me on social media. As always, spread this video far and wide. If you have questions, if there are things that you saw and heard in this that you want me to develop further, add in the comments below and I will do my best. Thank you for watching. Take care. Mwah.